Welcome to Three Dudes and a Lady. Join us for a little inspiration, a little motivation, and perhaps a way to cope with your day. I am Mike. I am from Virginia, and my gratitude today, gotta be the same as it was yesterday. It's beautiful outside.
Good morning, folks. My name is Earl Rule, hailing from the beautiful state of North Carolina on this hot Friday. But my gratitude is for the beautiful weather, but also air conditioning.
Nice. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jay Anderson. I'll yield from the wild, wonderful state of West Virginia. Uh, my gratitude are for my two dogs. It's nice to see loyalty, even if it's from animals. And man, that makes you just feel good.
Absolutely. Animals have a way of doing that, right? Hey guys, I am Christine Wright, hailing out of the great state of Florida. My gratitude is for football season is among us. Super excited. Um, so today Jay Shetty talked about emotional retracing. He brought up, when we feel down, a lot of times we don't want to admit it, or if we feel emotional, maybe we don't want to admit it, or maybe we're masking those emotions or putting them all over the place, right? We have like a full range of different feelings that happen throughout our day, right? And no 2 days are going to be alike, right? Even if we wake up and have a great morning routine, no 2 mornings will be the same. Each morning is new, especially when we're dealing with emotions, right? He spoke of his morning routine, and he has a morning routine. But one morning he would wake up feeling gloomy, and then he would meditate and feel better, and then he was driving to work and get frustrated because of traffic, you know. So naming our emotions and feeling and the feelings that we have one by one can be helpful, right? We can then begin to consider all the emotions we experience, right? You may have felt loved with breakfast with the family, right? You can feel that love, right? Overwhelm when you face your to-do list. Nostalgia when you notice a picture on the fridge. You see how wide and varied our emotions are, but we may try to conceal those feelings and mask them, or we may amplify them. We're constantly shifting from one emotion to the next. So the more that we can understand whatever we are feeling right now is going to pass, the easier it's going to be with us, right? A lot of times we just need to name our emotions. And I'm one that's going to hide those emotions, right? Shove them underneath the rug. Like, I don't wear my emotions on my sleeve. If I'm going through something, a lot of people have no idea. I mean, the ones closest to me, like my husband definitely will know, he knows. But most people that know me have no idea what is happening throughout my world, right? Just because I hide them, I conceal them. I don't necessarily let them out, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel about this? I mean, I think it's a good, healthy way to retrace our emotions and understand the different emotions and we call them out, right? If we can understand them and call them out, it's going to be easier to get through them. But if we don't call them out and just sweep them under the rug or amplify them, a lot of times we're definitely amplifying them. Any thoughts?
I'll start out with a question. This question came to me while he was speaking. When we ask someone later in the day, hey, how was your day? It's a common question. I think a lot of people are either asked that or they do ask that question.
And what's the answer usually? Good, fine, great.
Yeah, yeah. For those that conceal, that is the default answer, Christine. But anyways,
That is my default answer
yeah,
every time.
exactly. But
Good, great, fine.
I talk to my son every day. He's 39 years old, and I always ask him how his day was. And though it is of genuine interest to me, sometimes I feel like the underlying is I'm searching for the answer that he gives. Give you an example of what I mean by that. If he says, man, it was okay, that statement tells me the day was a roller coaster.
Mm.
Okay. Man, I had a really busy day. That statement tells me that he didn't get a chance to look up and stop and smell the roses. And it just continues in that direction. Okay. And I don't know why it made me think of that, but it did. But we are generally asked a lot throughout time in a day how we're doing or whatever from various different people. And our responses can give a lot away if the other person is listening. Speaking of, that was my son calling me. But it it could be, see, he's channeling me. He heard me speaking of him. Okay. But anyways,
You're like, Dad, why are you talking about me?
yeah, what you talking about? But get me off of this podcast. But the thing that's interesting is our emotions are really what control us on a daily basis. Our emotions are tied to our mindset, and our emotions can control the mindset. It's easy to think back when you say, think about the happy times. Well, you can pinpoint certain things or events that took place. What about the bad times? You can do that as well. But I suspect all of us in a day's time touch every single emotion that we have somewhere within the day, with happiness, sad, angry, just relaxed. I mean, any emotional feeling that you can attach. I feel like we all kind of go through bits and pieces. Even when we're on vacation, you have to think. You want to go out, leave wherever the place is that you're staying and go shopping. And I'm just using it as an example. Road rage could set in, and you're thinking, man, vacation is a happy time. That event alone should be all about happiness. Yet it's not always about happiness. So I think this is, and I'm quoting Jay Shetty here, the value of acknowledging the full range of your emotions. And I think our range is larger than we ever thought it would be until someone brought it to our attention.
Oh, for sure.
I may be wrong, but I suspect that I'm pretty close to that.
And it's funny that you brought up vacation. My daughter, after we got done with our vacation, my oldest daughter sends me this meme that says, it shows like of somebody relaxing in the water, and then it says, I just brought my kids, or I just spent thousands of dollars to bring my kids to another place to fight here instead of at home.
See?
When you have kids, it's uncontrollable, like you can't control whether they're gonna fight or argue. They will. I just thought it was funny that you brought up vacation, and then I was like, oh, here's an emotion that happened.
Recently,
Yeah,
yes.
recently. We made it through it though.
There you go. Earl?
I want to throw my 2 cents in. And ironically, this happened last night. I'm become good friends with my good friend Ed, who he's taking me in, let me stay at this place until I get my new apartment. Um, but Ed has become like a brother to me all of a sudden. I mean, we connect on some levels, and he even introduced me to his girlfriend who popped over last night to pick up some things. But the one thing that was very unique, and I thought that he said that Thursday night is his late working night. This is he works from home, and I didn't want to disturb him, so I purposely stayed out a little later than I wanted to give him his space, his privacy. He said, "Oh no, no problem. Just we're good." He goes, "I just closed my door, just that you know." And as I was eating dinner last night, he goes, "Hey, you up for a board game tonight?" I said, "Sure, I'll do a board game." So we played a board game, and as we were playing a board game, we were just saying, "So how was your day today?" You know, having a conversation. I said, "Day was good. Day was good, productive. It was hot. bit of a challenge on the heat side, but I'm good. He goes, that's good, and he was telling me about his projects, but also he was also telling me about the plans he has with his girlfriend, and also plans for the house and all that. I mean, sharing his personal feelings and letting kind of emotions. We were both letting emotions out, and it's like I felt like I was talking to a brother that I never had. And it's amazing how the universe can bring that together, especially when you're with a fellowship group that this guy treats me like family. We kid around. He gets my job. Because I got the guys from the men's fellowship group saying, "So how's the odd couple doing?" I'm like, "You're funny, Norb." But
That's fun.
but the thing is, we do connect on an intellectual level as far as men to men saying, this is what, because he knew that I told him I was having a tour with another apartment, which I actually like to stay. I found a one bedroom apartment that's not bad for pricing. It's got a little pool community. It's one of those things you felt good walking into, and I pray for it. This one's at the top of my list, and the price is not bad for it. Not too bad anyway. But the thing is, it's got a little bit of nature to it, but it's also got convenience where I can do, when I have my business, I can build around it. So it's just interesting how connections, we set our emotions and we go to bed that night saying, our prayers and just relaxing and just, let nature take its course. And I kind of enjoyed that.
It's
It
it's
was,
inter- it's
it was,
interesting that you brought that up, Earl,
yeah,
because I was debating this morning on my gratitude. I, I said my dogs, they mean a lot to me.
yeah,
They mean a lot to my wife. But before that, I was thinking about uh, meeting trustworthy people.
yep,
And the reason that I say that is 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 that not what we seek friendship through, is trustworthy people? So if you meet a trustworthy person, should you not maybe spend time and learn more about that person, maybe, possibly? So I feel like that's kind of what you're going through, is you've made a new friend, and right now that trust factor is very high. So it's a lot easier to start sharing emotions when that trust is there, because it sounds like this gentleman has been very reciprocating in sharing his as well. And man, that is what you call a friend. And can friendship be immediately? And I think it can.
Yeah, especially if you break in, like, so the rule is you break bread with somebody, you're in, right? It
Oh,
just
is that
brings
the
up,
rule? You break bread with someone? Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
break bread with somebody and you're just more in tune to them and you're willing to open up more. Just FYI, breaking bread.
Stronger than drinking a beer.
Yeah,
Just asking.
Uh, Mike,
I was sitting here listening to you guys, and the last thing I wrote down from Jay Shetty is emotions aren't who you are, and you don't have to let them control you. So,
you don't
and
have to let them control you.
right,
That's an
but
easy line to say, but how often can we, master that?
I think it takes awareness.
definitely takes awareness.
Uh,
How many people are really aware on what they do with their emotions, whether they sweep them under the rug or they wear them on their sleeve?
They don't. It's not a forethought for sure.
yeah, it's trying to get into our conversation before we played Jay Shetty, and we were talking about our experiences in Las Vegas and so forth. And I don't think any of us really have a great desire to go back, but we didn't emotionally bond with Vegas. No,
No.
and well, you might. I mean, I have fond memories of the people that were there in my group, um, and also fond memories for the memories of their own. But you know, it's just
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is remember
Yeah,
dreams.
zero question.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what I was thinking earlier when I was talking is you do remember the extremes, whether good, bad, indifferent, or whatever, but you tend to remember those. But what about the in-betweens? But I think you're right. I think awareness is the whole key to it. And I can see value with emotional retracing because one of the things he left us with, and again, quoting,
Mhm.
hope you can flow with the times. I wrote that down. He said that was one of the last things that Jay Shetty said. Hope you can flow with the times. And, you know, that is a coping mechanism statement right there. Because it's tough. Our daily life is a roller coaster every single day. I think. I mean, you know, again, I'm licensed in nothing but being a life insurance agent, but it's interesting. And my driver's license. I have two things I'm licensed in. But anyways, I just think that it's interesting. You know, one thing that he said, and this is kind of how Jay Shetty goes. This is why you have to listen daily. This is kind of how he goes. The week leads up into, and he tries to complete a circle, but we start with rituals, asking for help. Yesterday, we are nature, and yesterday's and this today kind of tied together pretty good because in today's conversation, he said nothing ever stays the same. Yesterday, we talked about it because we talked about how nature grows on a daily basis. So do we. So nothing stays the same. So he parallels a lot of his things, but they're different resources for us to pay attention. And man, I dig it. That's my 2 cents. I dig it.
Yeah. But just, I think being aware of like how we treat our emotions and how we can get through them, right? Like he even gave Met like talking about like he woke up feeling gloomy and then um he did some meditation and that helped him, but then he became frustrated on his drive. So I think it depends on how we're willing to handle our emotions too, because a lot of times with our emotions, we take them out on other people, right?
Oh, guilty.
Yeah, if somebody has road rage, a lot of times it might not necessarily be just road rage that they have, right? They might have had, who knows what happened, right? I mean, you
My
never know.
wife,
So sometimes we have to give other people grace because we don't necessarily know what they're walking through.
yeah, my wife, she has serious road rage, and it's honestly, it is comedy at its best to me, and it just makes her that matter because I can't help it.
Right.
Sweet. Uh, Earl, you got any parting news to us or thoughts?
You talked about the she's originally Virginia. She's from North Carolina, but she had moved to Virginia and Southeast Washington D.C. And she talked about road rage with a capital R. Because
Mike?
we were just comparing how expensive things are, and she said the driving's the worst. I was like, I thought North Carolina was. She goes, wrong. Oh, God, it was the conversation we had. I got a kick out of it.
Mike Jones, excuse me, Mike Jones is near that beltway. He fully understands what it means.
Yes, yes, he does.
Yeah, and motions yesterday when the interstate that goes into DC, they decided to have construction at 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
Of
and
course they did.
and take
Oh,
three
boy.
lanes down to two. And I was on my way to an appointment. I was 1 minute short of having to reschedule when I
Boy,
walked in.
that's what you call a pity party on wheels.
Wow.
Oh, dear.
Folks, I think it's easy to see that we're not licensed therapists, but we sure have fun listening to the AppCom with Jay Shetty. He provides some very insightful things for us. Excuse me. It's kind of cool how the four of us, when we recognize things that we truly already know, but we just don't necessarily pay attention to, or it's an occasional thought. Sometimes when you hear these things, it helps you grow as a person because it allows you to work through some emotions, some mindsets, as long as you're aware of what's going on. I've always said, because my dad always told me, sit tight. If you don't like today, wait till tomorrow. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that statement before, but I've heard it. So if you're having a tough day, breathe. Just know that the sun will still come up tomorrow, or day will still be tomorrow. So come join us. Go down the rabbit hole with us. It is absolutely one of the best ways to start your day. Join us on a daily basis.
And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. And come back and see us soon. Peace.
Deuces.
Peace.